Okay, in this video I'm going to go over the mock quiz for 1.1 to 1.3. So the first question, looking at the figure to the right and using good notation, asks us to identify a pair of opposite rays. So I'm looking on this line, and on this line I am seeing that I have opposite rays. So let's see if I can highlight this a little bit for you. Okay, this is a ray, and the opposite ray is going to be this one. All right, so I'm going to write those down. So what you have lost sight of right here, this is a C, this is an E, this is a D. Okay, so my pairs of opposite rays are CE with the ray symbol going this way, because that's where the arrowhead is in our figure. And the other ray that's opposite it is ED, and that arrowhead goes this way because the D has the arrowhead closest to it. Okay, next I'm going to identify a line. Well, that line that the rays are on is a good one to pick. So here's my symbol, and here are the letters of the line. Remember, you just need 2 letters. Okay, can we identify a line segment? So let's go for a different one. How about right here, from this point E, from E all the way to B. So that's going to be line segment EB, and the notation for that is a single line. So these notations are very precise. Rays look like rays above the letters. A line looks like a line above the 2 letters. And a line segment looks like a line segment above the 2 letters. Notice there's only 2 letters for each. Okay, so that brings us down to the next topic, which is the rule of postulate. So this is a rule of postulate problem, and we're going to try to figure out what DE is. So where is DE? Well, DE is right here. So it's the piece right here that has not been identified. So there's no length associated with DE yet, and I want that length. So I'm going to take the time to write up my equation. So I know the entire segment I'm seeing here is AE. So when I look at for DE, I see I can get DE by saying AE, which is the big piece, minus AD, which is the smaller piece. So put your numbers underneath there, 12 minus 9, and you get a length of DE of 3. So right here, that's 3. And it makes sense because 3 plus 9 gives me 12. Okay, let's go on to the next page. Okay, here we are using the same concepts of line of the rule of postulate, and we're saying I would like to figure out what the length of AB is. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for AB right here, but they also tell us something very important. They tell us that AC, so from here to here, is 21. So I need to figure out what X is before I can figure out any of the other pieces. So what I know is that 21 is the whole length, and that's going to equal 2x plus 5x. 2x plus 5x is 7x. Divide by 7 to get x by itself, and I'm getting 3 equals my x. Now, this is not an answer, it's a way to get an answer. I need to find AB. AB is 2x. Since I now know that x is 3, then AB, which is 2x, as I just said, equals 2 times 3, which is 6. AB equals 6. That is my answer that I'm looking for. Okay, if you stop at just getting me the x, you haven't answered the question, because the question was to find AB. Okay, let's go on to the next page. Okay, so they were asking us to plot these points and then to figure out if A and B and C and D are congruent. So let's plot -2, 3. I go over 2 and up 1, 2, 3. So it's right here. That's A. Then I'm going to go 1 and then up 3. 1, 2, 3. That's B. Here is line segment AB. And A is -2, 3. And B is 1, 3. Okay, we have another one to plot. So let's plot C and D. So C is 2, 4, which is right up here. And D is 2, -2, which is right here. So this was D, and it was 2, -2. This was C, and it was 2, 4. Okay, so are A and B congruent? Well, first let me just draw in this line segment. Let's get the length of AB. Now, I can't just look at it and say, nope, they don't look congruent. I have to actually do the work. So let's get the length of AB. Looking at AB, since your y's are the same, to get the length, you can subtract the x's. You're doing it behind absolute value so that you don't have a negative length. So that length of AB is just 3. So now let's do the same thing for CD. So the length of CD, because the x's are the same, we're going to say 4 minus a -2. Now, if you have 4 minus a minus, you really have 4 plus a 2. That is 6, and that length is 6. So I'm going to say that, let me change my color again, that AB is not congruent. Okay, so line segment AB is not congruent to line segment CD. Okay, and that symbol that I wrote, which was this is congruent, this is not congruent. Okay, we have a couple more problems. Okay, find the midpoint. So the midpoint is going to be found using this formula, which I'm going to give you. So first, let's find the coordinate pairs of our points. So you've got to be good at this. So do this carefully with me so that you are confident. This is -3, 2. That's my A. This is 2, -2. Remember, it's always x, y. So I'm going to say this is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Now we're just going to follow this formula. So to get the midpoint, I'm going to add my x's together, -3 plus 2, divide them by 2, comma, and then to get the y value, I'm going to add my y's together, 2 plus a -2, so this is -2 over 2. So -3 plus 1 is -1, divided by 2 is 1/2, 2 minus 2 is 0. Anything divided, 0 divided by anything is always going to be 0. That's my midpoint. Let's just see if this seems like a reasonable answer. Let's find this point. -1/2, 0 should be right here. Whoops. Okay, I'm having a hard time drawing on this. Okay, it's right here. And that seems reasonable that that is my midpoint. So I'm happy with that answer. It looks like it's reasonable. I've done the calculations carefully. That's my midpoint. The midpoint is located at 1/2, 0. Okay, we have one more thing to do. It's on the next page. This is a formula that we're going to use, and we're not going to find the midpoint this time. We're going to find the distance between the 2 points, but I still need this grid. So let's go ahead and relabel these points. So it was -3, 2, and this was 2 comma negative 2. So to find the distance between the 2 points is finding the length of that line segment. So I'm going to give myself a big radical, and I'm going to go back up and label my coordinate pairs so that I can just follow along and use this equation. So x2 is 2, and I want to say minus x1, so minus a minus 3, minus a minus 3, and then I'm going to square that. Plus, I'm just following the equation, y2 is negative 2 minus y1, which is minus 2. I'm going to square that. Okay, so this is 2 plus 3, that's squared, plus negative 2 minus 2 squared. Okay, so 2 plus 3 is 5. This is 5 squared plus a negative 4 squared. So I'm going to continue up here, and this is going to be 25 plus 16, which is radical 41. That's your answer. You cannot simplify that. So radical 41 is it. So go back over this as need be, and this will cover the material you need to know for your quiz.